back home that if someone violates that order, they don't get another bond and they go to jail. So be sure your client understands it.
He does, and I understand, and I understand where you're coming from. That won't be a problem.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. Daryl Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. Standing before you is Daryl Williams. He's here for formal arraignment and bond setting on multiple charges that were true billed before the Horry County Grand Jury during the September 15th, 2016 term. Your Honor, they are 2016 GS 26, 4507, 4508, 4509, 4510, 4511, 4512, 4513, 4515, and 4516, which are all true billed indictments for misconduct and office, Your Honor. Mr. Williams is here with his attorney, Mr. Jeffrey Lucas.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Lucas, I've been told that you are representing Mr. Williams. Is that correct?
I am, Your Honor, with, as a part of my firm, which is Axelrod Associates here in Norfolk.
I see. Has your client received or been given or reviewed the indictments that were just given to me by the Attorney General?
He has seen them and reviewed them, Your Honor.
All right. Does he wish for me to read those indictments to him at this time, or does he waive the reading?
Waive the reading, Your Honor.
Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
All right. Mr. Williams, as to the indictments then, how are you pleading? And how do you wish to be tried? Okay, may God grant you a speedy delivery in the case. So the question now becomes the setting of the bond. I'll be happy to hear from you, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Here before you is Daryl Curtis Williams. He is 38 years of age. He's a high school graduate. He did 2 years of college at Coastal Carolina University right here in Conway, Myrtle Beach area. He's not married. He currently resides in Mapleton, Georgia. He got to Mapleton shortly after leaving the Horry County Police Department. Let's see, he actually traveled here from Mapleton, Georgia today. Now, what he does in Mapleton is he takes care of his mother. His mother's 59 years of age. She suffers from rheumatoid arthritis. She is paralyzed from the waist down. So it's basically a full-time job taking care of her. Your Honor, further, Mr. Williams was employed by Horry County Police Department for 9 years. Prior to that, he served in the United States military. He resigned from the Horry County Police Department in August of 2000.
Just 1 second, counsel. Could you step out and ask him to hold it down in that room for me? Thank you, sir. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. He resigned from the Horry County Police Department in August of 2014. And again, he currently takes care of his mother full-time, basically. Now, prior to being that, in addition to taking care of his mother, he's a truck driver. I believe he does truck driving when he gets a chance now, in addition to taking care of his mother. Your Honor, he has no criminal record at all. He doesn't have any kids, no children. He does live in Mapleton, Georgia right now. However, my firm has been retained fully on this case. So we will assure you that we will get Mr. Williams here when he needs to be. And we will be in communication with the Attorney General's office to make sure that this happens.
Well, quite frankly, the fact that he is residing out of state is a concern to the court, and also the indication that he intends to drive trucks. I don't know if that's long-haul truck driving, local truck driving, but the fact that he would be moving about on the highways and apparently going perhaps to other states as well would be a concern of the court as well. So you might want to address that.
Actually, right now, Your Honor, I don't know if you can see on his left hand, he injured his left hand. So he's not driving a truck. But full time, he's taking care of his mother.
He has been doing that in the past, though, is that correct, while he was out in Georgia?
Driving trucks?
Yes.
Yes, but he was driving local.
Okay.
In that area, he wasn't doing cross-country trips. He was doing it locally to local businesses and things of that sort. So, Your Honor, all of that being said, we would respectfully request a personal cognizance bond. If we do that, Your Honor, I mean, he willingly came here, turned himself in. He came here from Mapleton, Georgia, again, which I believe is near Atlanta. So, that being said, Your Honor, we would request a personal cognizance bond if we see fit, and Mr. Williams will be here. He had my firm basically representing him throughout the time of this trial.
I understand. I'll hear from the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Williams was again an investigator with the Horry County Police Department, and during the years of 2010 to 2013, he also failed to investigate numerous cases that were assigned to him, including criminal sexual conduct cases. Similarly, Your Honor, a lot of these cases have now gone back and been investigated, and there have been some convictions secured in some of these cases. In addition, Mr. Williams also committed misconduct in office because he was using his county vehicle and his county paid time to also work for the Department of Social Services, delivering summons for a $100 fee, Your Honor. So he was getting paid by both entities at the same time. That's one of the additional charges of misconduct in office that Mr. Williams has. We again are leaving a bond until the discretion of Your Honor. Your Honor addressed all the concerns that the state had with the out-of-state living as well as the truck driving, Your Honor. And again, we'd ask for no contact with any potential witnesses in this case.
That's it. Anything you'd like to say in response to what the state has told me?
Nothing in response to that, Your Honor. Just only that we are on Mr. Williams' case now. We will respond to these accordingly when called to court. We will be here, and we will address all the facts as they come to us.
Well, as I indicated, in this particular case, we've got a situation where a defendant is intending to reside outside of the state and be employed there. I realize, given the state of his injury, he may not be currently employed in that fashion, but he has been employed by operating a truck and traveling some within the state of Georgia. That's a concern to this court. For that reason, I'm going to set the bond in this case at $35,000 as well, but I will require a surety on this bond. Thank you very much. And the same requirements, no contact with potential witnesses or alleged victims.
Understood, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Troy Allen Large.
Thank you. Let's let everybody get situated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Abbey, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Standing before you is Troy Allen Large. He's here on several indictments that were true billed by the Horry County Grand Jury on September the 15th of 2016. He's here for formal arraignment in a bond setting. On indictment 2016, GS-26-4480, misconduct in office. 2016, GS-26-4481, criminal sexual conduct, third degree. 2016 GS-26-4482, misconduct in office. 2016 GS-26-4483, criminal sexual conduct, third degree. 2016 GS-26-4484, misconduct in office. 2016 GS-26-4485, criminal sexual conduct, third degree. 2016 GS-26-4486, misconduct in office. 2016 GS-26-4487, criminal sexual conduct, third degree. 2016 GS-26-4488, misconduct in office. 2016 GS-26-4489, criminal sexual conduct in the third degree. And 2016 GS-26-4490, misconduct in office. Mr. Large is here with his attorney, Mr. Russell Long.
Thank you. I'm sorry, counsel, your name again?
Russell Long, Judge.
Mr. Long, okay. Mr. Long, you do represent the defendant on all charges, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Does your client acknowledge having been served with or shown copies of all of these indictments?
Yes, sir. We've had them for some time. We've gone over them, and we would waive any reading of them.
Thank you very much. Then, Mr. Large, as to the indictments that the Attorney General has presented to the court, How are you pleading?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
And as to these indictments, how do you wish to be tried?
Jury trial by my peers.
All right, sir, then I'll hope God grants you a speedy delivery in that regard. Counsel, it's your opportunity to speak with me concerning the setting of the bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Alan's 54 years old. He's here with his wife Karen, seated right here behind me on the front row. They've been married 25 years. He grew up here in Horry County. He went to Socastee High School, graduated from Socastee High School in 1981, graduated from Anderson Junior College, and also then graduated from the University of South Carolina in 1988. He began working for the Horry County Police Department in 1989 and has worked there since his resignation earlier this year. He's been a member of Blaine Methodist Church for over 20 years down in the Merle's Inlet area in between Horry and Georgetown County. They have two children, twins, 20-year-old twins, grown twins. He, shortly after Christmas of last year, had a massive heart attack, was taken to MUSC in Charleston where he stayed 28 days. They attempted to do an open heart surgery on him but were unable to do so. He has been applied a stent in that matter, and he is now on an insulin pump as he stands here today. He's been prepped for dialysis. He has kidney issues. He has some pretty severe health issues. Takes over a dozen medications a day for his condition right now. All of his medical arrangements have been made with either MUSC or here locally, so all in South Carolina. Judge, he was notified by Agent Hauser of SLED late in 2015 that he was being investigated. He accepted that news and awaited to see where that got him. He sort of participated himself without counsel in some civil proceedings earlier this year, willingly presented himself for those things. Now he's made perfectly clear, greater than or as great as any client as I've ever represented in my 25 years of practice, that he is excited about coming to court to defend himself. So I would hope that Your Honor would see that, 27 years of service with the Horry County Police Department, a longtime resident with nothing but community ties. Currently, he is obviously on disability. He's medically disabled. He's also receiving retirement right now, so he's not working at the moment. But he is the opposite of a flight risk. Not only did he present himself early in the case to be interviewed and knowingly and willingly gave statements to law enforcement, but he walked himself into this courtroom today to be served with these indictments and to have Your Honor set a bond on him. There are some allegations of criminal sexual conduct in the third degree. I don't know the extent of the allegations. Again, just like the other attorneys, I've only read the indictments. I don't have any background information or any part of the discovery of the case. But I know the dates that are included in some of these indictments, and some are quite old. So the state would have you believe that these matters happened some time ago, but he's still sort of out here walking around. I would think that if he were, in fact, a threat to the community back then, someone would have done something about it before then. He's not. He's not a threat to the community at all, and he's certainly not a flight risk. We would hope that you would consider a PR bond on that.
Ms. B., I'll hear from the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. In the years of 2006 and 2015, while Mr. Large was an investigator with the Horry County Police Department, he did engage in inappropriate relationships with various sexual assault victims, Your Honor. These were victims of cases that Mr. Large was charged with investigating, Your Honor. That's how he met these victims. All the relationships involved sexually charged comments, phone calls, text messages, as well as unannounced visits to the victims' residences, Your Honor. In addition, he also committed sexual assaults against 5 victims by digitally penetrating them and coercing 2 of the victims to engage in oral sex with him, Your Honor. He also solicited a number of, again, these sexual assault victims and people he met while on the job and recruited them to engage in female fighting for his pleasure, Your Honor. 2 of these women we have seen, he was able to successfully recruit and have them fight one another half-dressed with the purposes of their clothes coming off, Your Honor. And those are videotaped as well. None of the victims are present, Your Honor. However, Amy Lawrence Lovely, who she and her firm represent several of these victims. She is present and would like to address Your Honor at the appropriate time.
All right, now would be the appropriate time. Ma'am, come forward, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
Attorney Amy Lawrence on behalf of Detective Large's victims, Your Honor. These women were victims of brutal rape, sexual assault, and domestic violence of the worst degree. Detective Large was assigned to these cases to investigate these travesties, and he did everything but investigate them. Instead, Detective Large unfound and dismissed their cases almost immediately, within 24 to 48 hours. Detective Large used his badge, his gun, and authority of being a veteran officer with the Horry County Police Department to prey on the most broken, abused, and helpless in our community. He chose his victims carefully, threatening these women with having their children taken away, not protecting them from their abusive partners, and using his authority as a means to his end. He would tell each and every one of them that he knew how to get rid of a body and make it disappear. Detective Large sexually assaulted these women for months, giving them no avenue for help. Who were they to call? 911? Well, they called 911 the first time, and they received no justice, no compassion, no help. Instead, they were re-victimized by the very men sent to protect them. It didn't end with sexual assaults. He went further, introducing sexual catfighting as his fetish of choice, and taking one victim to North Carolina to fight with another police officer's victim. Detective Large took an oath. He swore to protect the rights, lives, and property of all the citizens and uphold the honor of the police profession, and he did none of that. He continues to stalk and harass one of the victims, leaving notes on her car, sending texts, following her, and driving past her home on a regular basis. They're witness to these actions, and we have considered filing a restraining order, but going forward with such would lose her anonymity. And we were in hope that these charges would come forward and we'd be able to get a no-contact order in place. Your Honor, Detective Large continues to carry an old badge, has a small arsenal of personal guns, and he's not only a danger to our victims, but he's a danger to the community as a whole. He's the worst kind of criminal. He was a police officer for 27 years, and his victims go back decades. He did not resign. He was fired for these actions. Your Honor, Detective Large was a wolf in sheep's clothing. He was supposed to protect these women and bring their assailants to justice, and he did none of that. He became the perpetrator of the most heinous of crimes. We respectfully and wholeheartedly request the highest bond possible, and we request that a no-contact order with the victims be put in place. And we beg that you send a message to the community today that while this has been tolerated by the Horry County Police Department for a very, very long time, that it will not be tolerated anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. B, let me ask you a question. As far as the ability of the solicitor or your office to monitor him through some type of GPS monitoring, could you tell me what's available in Horry County? I'm not a local judge, so I'd like to know about that.
And I'm not necessarily local in Horry
I think I
County.
see the assistant solicitor. Maybe he can tell me what's available.
Yeah, we certainly have. Actually, Tom Fox, director, former director, we have provisions for GPS monitoring as well as electronic monitoring with the program office of the Sheriff's Department.
Okay, it's through the sheriff's office. Is that correct?
That's
okay.
correct.
All right. Anything further?
And nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Would you like to respond to what the state said?
Just, Your Honor, on everything that Ms. Lovely said, she represents victims in a civil matter. I'm not in any position to defend his civil case or her civil case here today. I would like for you to take note of that, though. I can't respond to anything that she presented. She presented an awful lot to the court. I would hope that very little of what she presented would have any swaying in your mind as to whether or not to bond this man out. Again, he walked himself in here. That's the opposite of a flight risk. He intends to be here every time the court calls him.
All right. I do find the bond should be set in this case at the level of $85,000. It will be a surety bond. There will be GPS monitoring required. He'll be confined to his place of residence, which give me an address, counsel.
Your Honor, his residence is 216 Long Ridge Drive.
All right, he can leave that location to go to, I don't think he's working at this time, is that correct? So he can go to his medical care, he can participate in his defense with his lawyer, but he is not to leave the home, and he can go to church if he wishes to attend church services, but other than that, he would be confined to his home. I am ordering no contact whatsoever with any potential witnesses and or victims in this case. I trust the state can inform them. There appear to be multiple defendants in this case.
Yes, sir.
So if you would give them a list of people who were involved so that we have an understanding as to who he's not to have contact with.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
I heard it mentioned that perhaps he has had some contact with these people. So I want to be sure we're explicit and keep that list available so that we can enforce my order.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, sir, one other thing. You mentioned that you apparently had not received full discovery in the case or couldn't respond to all of the allegations that were made in front of me today. Let me finish. I will be happy to put a provision in the bond that after 90 days or your complete receipt of discovery, if you find that the information does not match the information I was given today, you would have a right to petition a judge to reconsider the bond. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'll prepare orders and have them ready to sign in the next 5 minutes.
All right. Thank you very much. Does that complete our hearing? All right. Court is adjourned. Thank you very much.